What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another Should You Pull video, where I give you my opinions for upcoming banners coming to Dissidia Opera Omnia, whether you should pull or not. In this video we are going to be taking a look at Trey's event banner, which you will have the chance to grab his EX weapon alongside with his 15 and 35 CP weapon, and you can also get Quistis EX weapon with this one as well, alongside with, of course, her 15 and 35 CP weapon. Both these characters can be realized, or their weapons anyway, and the third wheel for this one is going to be Fran, which you can grab her 15 and 35 CP weapon. Now before we start, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help my channel and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And the like goals for this video is going to be 200 likes. If we do meet that, the next Should You Pull video should be coming out a little bit early than usual. Now without further ado, let's start this video. Alright guys, we'll start this video off with Quistis rework, which you will be getting at the time of the release of this event. Now first things first, before I actually do start, if I did make a mistake in any of these stuff here on this video, I do apologize, but the DB is already updated even their global version of the characters. It's already put up with the rework already, so I had to look on my phone and then look back and just keep on comparing back and forth. And if I did miss something or if there was a mistake, I really do apologize. With that in mind, just leave down in the comments and nicely let me know if I did make a mistake, okay? Alright, now let's go with the changes for Laser Whip. So the first thing is, now this will actually raise the party's brave based on her max brave, and will trigger an HP attack after it's used, whereas before you have to have like 80% of your brave before it actually triggers the HP attack. You will also be getting access to a Brave Attack Plus and an HP Attack Plus. Now the Brave Attack Plus will raise the party's brave based on a max brave, and this will be a 2-hit brave, and this will have increase in potency. And the HP Attack Plus will have an increase in the brave hit count to 2 and will raise the party's brave based on the HP damage dealt. Now let's take a quick look at the changes for the Generator Whip, which basically will only increase its brave hit count, and everything else will be retaining the same thing. Now let's take a look at Quistis EX, and really won't be any changes to this, but she will get a realization. So let's quickly go over this very old EX. Alright, so you get the EX ability called Homing Whip, which is going to be a 7-hit brave plus HP attack. This will increase the brave damage dealt to enemies afflicted with a turn rate down or a speed down debuff. Now this will also inflict the speed down debuff and will grant the Instructor's Whip for 6 turns, and will trigger an HP attack if the brave is over 100%. This will have a fast recast speed, and the Instructor's Whip will basically increase her max brave and attack. At 1 out of 3, this will increase the brave damage dealt. At 2 out of 3, this will improve the Instructor's Whip effects, and at 3 out of 3, this will increase its recast speed. Now let's take a look at the realization for this weapon. At 0 out of 3, this will increase the brave potency, and it will now trigger an HP attack after its use, and will also inflict the Cane Light debuff. This will basically lowers the enemy's max brave and attack. And at 1 out of 3, this will raise her max brave by 60% and increasing her attack by a whopping 80%. Now at 2 out of 3, when the quest starts, she will get the Instructor's Whip buff up for 6 turns, and when the battle starts, I do believe this is going to be for each wave, she will inflict the Decaying Light debuff on all the targets for 4 turns. And when she's using the Homing Whip, which is her EX, this will now have a 50% splash damage and adds the following effects to the Instructor's Whip. This will now slightly raise the party's max brave overflow limit for gained and stolen brave. And finally, at 3 out of 3, this will increase the brave hit count up to 10 and increasing its brave potency once again. This will now also raises the allies brave based on the HP damage dealt. Now the bonus sphere for this one is going to be debuff success boost along. When inflicting a debuff, it will raise the party's max brave by 5% for 6 turns. Alright guys, so after hearing all this information regarding Quistis' rework and of course her realization, how much ingots should you be investing on Quistis if you do decide you really like this character and want to use her moving forward? Now, in my opinion, I really think you can really get away with 2 out of 3 for Quistis. And the main reason for this is basically this is where she gets that instructor's whip buff up at the start of the quest. And of course, I think the decaying light debuff on all enemies is going to be really great as well. But I think the caveat here is the 50% splash damage and of course the increasing of the party's max brave overflow, not only for the gain brave but also for the stolen brave. I think this is probably the breaking point, I think, for Quistis' realization, and I think this is going to be really useful. So minimum at 2 out of 3 you could really get away. However, I do still recommend going 3 out of 3 for Quistis. And you might be asking why. It doesn't look like she gets a lot. Now, it might not look a lot in terms of overall list of things that you get for 3 out of 3, but raising the allies' brave based on the HP damage dealt is actually pretty nice. This can prevent you from getting broken in some cases if for whatever reason Quistis has her turn just before the enemy's boss, then you can act, or the enemy's boss. I guess that would be you, right? Anyway, well, like I was saying, if it's her turn and then afterwards it will be the enemy's turn, then you can prevent some breakage there. And just so you guys remember, her EX does recharge really fast, and so you will be taking advantage of this extra brave battery option, seeing as Quistis doesn't really get a lot of usage for all her abilities, especially her ability 2, which let's face it, it just doesn't have much in there. But hopefully with this one you will have an extra option as a brave battery for Quistis. Alright guys, now I think we can move forward to Trey's abilities with all the passives included. Now, let me be honest here, this was pretty hard to put it all together, and hopefully it makes sense. I'll try to explain as easily as I can regarding his abilities and of course how he works. I really do hope I can explain this because there's a lot to go through with Trey. So let's get started. Let's start off with his first ability, Raining Arrows. This is going to be a 4-hit AoE range brave plus HP attack with split HP damage. This will grant him the impeccable shot for 6 turns and increasing the brave damage dealt when there's only one single target, or wait, one single target? When there's only a single target. It grants a arrow shower unique icon buff for 1 turn. This is going to have a 150% max brave overflow limit. Now, here's the kicker with Trey. If you do not use any of his abilities, basically they will get 1 charge. And this basically will go to the next turn and you will see the abilities, for example, Raining Arrows, and there's going to be a little number 1 there. This will have a max of 2, let's just say, charges. So now when you're taking a look at Raining Arrows 1, basically you will still get everything that I mentioned with Raining Arrows. However, you will be getting extra stuff for your troubles for not actually using the ability. So this time you'll be getting a brave recovery by 20% based on the HP damage dealt, and will also grant him the arrow shower buff, unique buff for 2 turns. So Raining Arrows 2, which is the max one, will increase the brave hit count to 6, of course increasing its potency as well, and will increase the max brave overflow up to 180%. This will also grant him the Arrow Shower unique buff for 3 turns, and increasing the brave gained based on the HP damage dealt. This will revert back to the Raining Arrows after use, and this is the same thing with Raining Arrows 1. Alright, now let's talk about this Arrow Shower unique effect or unique buff. So basically, while this unique effect is active, this will trigger Arrow Shower each turn, regardless if it's a party member's turn or the enemy's turn. This will basically be like a 2-hit AoE Brave plus AoE HP attack. The HP damage dealt will be split. This will have 120% max Brave overflow limit and will raise the ally's Brave based on the HP damage dealt. However, this cannot initiate the chase sequence and will consume 1 turn of the Arrow Shower each turn. Now, the buff that he's giving himself is the Impeccable Shot buff. This is going to be raising his max brave and attack by 40%. Now let's take a look at his second ability, which is Dynamite Arrow, which will have 8 uses and will do a 4-hit range brave plus HP attack. This will inflict the unique debuff Dynamite for 2 turns and will have a 150% max brave overflow limit and will grant the Impeccable Shot buff up for 6 turns as well. So this is going to be the same as his first ability. If the ability is not used, it will have 1 extra charge on the next turn. Will have a max of 2. Now Dynamite Arrow 1 is going to be just increasing its brave hits up to 6, so 6 hit range brave plus HP attack, and it will still get everything else from the Dynamite Arrow. Now Dynamite Arrow 2 will increase its potency and will have a 180% max brave overflow limit and will add a 50% splash damage on top of everything else. Now while the Dynamite is active, this is going to be a little blinking icon on the enemy. It's not going to be an actual frame debuff or a debuff. You will see the Dynamite like flickering basically. So while this is active, its duration reduces by 1 per turn, exactly the same as Arrow Shower, and when it expires it will trigger Dynamite, which is going to be a 4-hit range brave plus HP attack. This will have a 120% max brave overflow, and while Impeccable Shot is active, he will have access to his Brave Attack Plus, which will basically raise the party's brave based on his attack and will do a 2-hit brave attack and will have an increase in potency. Now let's quickly go over his additional ability or extra ability, whatever you want to call it. This will be an ability recovery attack up. This will only have 1 use. It will recover 1 use of his Raining Arrows and Dynamite Arrows up to their initial values, and this will also increase his attack for 8 turns. Now this is of course with the Bloomstone included. Alright guys, I hope I explained those very well. But now let's take a look at Trey'S EX, which will give him the EX ability Grand Delta. This is going to be a 5-hit AoE range brave plus AoE HP attack. This will increase the brave damage dealt when attacking a single target. The HP damage is going to be split and will have a 150% max brave overflow limit and will inflict the Lethal Arrow debuff for 1 turn. Now Lethal Arrow is going to be basically instant break. Incoming brave attacks will result in a break if not already broken. This will increase the brave damage taken as well. This EX will however have a slightly slow recast speed. Now at 1 out of 3, this will actually increase the brave damage dealt. At 2 out of 3, extending the duration of the Lethal Arrow debuff by 2 turns. And at 3 out of 3, will increase its recast speed. Alright guys, now let's take a look at the realization for this weapon. At 0 out of 3, this will increase the brave potency and increase the max brave overflow to 200%. At 1 out of 3, this will increase his max brave by 80% and his attack by 40%. At 2 out of 3, when the quest starts, he will grant himself the impeccable shot buff for 6 turns and will fill up his EX gauge to its max, and will turn Raining Arrow to a Raining Arrow 1 and Dynamite Arrow to Dynamite Arrows 1. And finally, at 3 out of 3, this will become a 5-hit AoE range Brave attack plus AoE HP attack that is going to be delivered twice. This will also have an increase in its Brave potency, and he will have access to his HP attack plus and its couple of variants. Now his HP attack will become HP attack plus, which is going to be a 2-hit range Brave plus HP attack. This will have a 120% max Brave overflow limit. Now his HP attack 1 becomes HP attack plus 1, so that's a charge 1. This will be a Brave 2-hit Brave hit count as well. It will just increase its Brave potency, and it will still retain the 120% max Brave overflow limit. Now when it's his HP attack 1 becomes HP attack plus 2, that even makes sense. This will raise the Brave gain based on his max Brave, and will deliver a 3-hit Brave hit count, and it will increase its potency once again, and will slightly raise the max Brave overflow limit for the stolen Brave up to 150%. This will also revert it back to its normal HP attack plus. Now the bonus sphere for this one is going to be break attack boost up long when breaking a target. This will raise max Brave and attack by 5% for 6 turns. Alright guys, so after hearing all this information regarding Trey's abilities with all his passives included, and of course his realization, how much ingots should you be investing on Trey if he's a character that you want to use moving forward? Well, I mean, he's a damage dealer, so you guys know that's instant 3-3 for me, because again, scaling and all that jazz, you know, DPS just doesn't scale well when it comes to difficulty. They will need some type of support. However, Trey is a very unique character that can break enemies very easily, and I think his overall damage is kind of insane as well. Really going on par with Jack. I think all these type 0 cadets just keep getting stronger and stronger. Like, I know Jack has his own shenanigans, but Trey has his own shenanigans once again. So with Trey in your party, you won't need any gravity based characters. You can just apply lethal arrow and break them pretty easily. Anyway, I think just because he's damage dealer, he is going to need that 3 out of 3 just to be able to, you know, do his job to his full potential. But I think the addition of those HP attack plus is really what's going to sell the 3 out of 3 for everyone else. Now it's also going to be really nice, don't get me wrong, that you actually get an extra HP attack on his EX ability. Remember, this will now be a 5-hit AoE range plus Brave attack plus HP attack that is triggered twice, so that is something that's going for him at 3 out of 3 as well. But I think the main selling point here is going to be the access to his HP attack plus. Whether it's very confusing for you, because it's been very confusing to me as well, that's a whole nother story and a whole nother video, I think. But anyway, I do think 3 out of 3 is the best way to go. Alright guys, so we're finally at the end of this video, and the final question remains, should you pull? Well, to me, this is hard because we're so close to burst era, right? But I think for me, this is a yes. Quistis, even though I feel like they could have done a little bit more, especially with her ability too, is still a very good delayer, and she was the original delayer. Let's just put it out there. And she does give out a lot of Brave battery as well. And with the addition of her realization at 3 out of 3, she will be constantly be battering your team. Her ability 1 does battery now as well, so that's actually really nice. So her job is just to give you battery and delay at the same time, and she will be able to do that very, very well. Trey is going to be an insanely strong DPS or DPT, whatever you want to call it. Of course, the main thing with Trey is the lethal arrow debuff, which will basically be instant break. You know, all the incoming brave attacks will result in break. I mean, that's kind of broken. See what I did there? But I do feel like obviously with the burst and LD era coming, it's very hard to say yes. So even though I do say yes in this video, that is I will just constantly remind you that it is coming up really, really soon. And it's just going to be whether you actually need these characters in your team right now. Do you need another range, physical range attacker or damage dealer in your roster? Are you short on those? Do you need another delayer? Did you miss out on, you know, maybe General Leo or Lightning or whatever whoever else can delay? So if the answers to those questions are yes, then you'll be more likely to pull on this banner. That's why, even though I say yes, there is a caveat, or there's an asterisk to a lot of the banners that are coming in the month of July, because, you know, we are so close to the burst and LD era, and knowing that, it's really hard to say yeah, go for it. But I will definitely be pulling on this banner. I'll definitely be using the tickets I got from the Alexander grind, which I still haven't finished at the time of this recording. I might throw in some gems as well, just depending. I already have Quistis EX, so it's not too enticing for me in regards to this banner, but I do like Trey's kit, so I'm looking forward to trying it out if I do get his EX weapon. Anyway guys, this video has gone long enough. Please do remember to click like and subscribe once again. It does help my channel, and I really do appreciate all the support you guys give me, and of course this really helps with the YouTube algorithm as well. Remember, there's going to be 200 like goals for this video. Hopefully we do get it. I am recording this in advance, and hopefully the previous Studio Pool video gets that 200 likes as well. If not, then well, hopefully with this one we do. And follow me on Twitter on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming, and leave down in the comments below if you are planning to pull on this banner. Let me know who you're after. Are you after Quistis or are you after Trey? Let me know down in the comments below. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next level.